Good morning, everyone. Today's video lesson is going to be on writing the second half of your comparative analysis, which is your leveled up body paragraph on the differences between your two interviews and writing your conclusion paragraph. So you should have your outline available or next to you as you are drafting this part of your essay. From what I've seen from yesterday, it looks like you all are really getting the hang of this. I haven't given much feedback yet because I've been scrambling to get grades in the grade book since they're due today at noon. But I'm going to be giving you feedback on um, your leveled up body paragraphs from yesterday. Unlike yesterday, I've gone ahead and written out my paragraphs because I was worried that I did not have enough disk space to do more videos. So hopefully that won't be a problem this time around. You'll be able to see that I've literally followed my outline with this paragraph. I have my topic sentence right here, which needs to focus on a major difference between your interviewees. Mine says, while both generations value hard work and persistence, they disagree on whether the American dream is still attainable for all types of people, particularly those who are not born into wealthy or financially sound families, those who are raised in unsafe living conditions, or those who live with a disability. Then I'm going to go into normally I would go into some context, but I feel like I need to give a little more explanation here because this is a pretty profound statement to make. The idea that your attitude alone can't get you out of poverty or a unsafe living environment. So here's some context on both interviewees. Both Gen X and Gen Z interviewees were born into a privileged home, meaning that each lived with two parents and had more than enough money to not only meet basic needs, but to travel and enjoy other fun opportunities that others would have to save up for years in order to experience. I thought this was important to include because you can talk about your opinions on being able to move up through the ranks, but if you were born into a family that had everything you needed, then it's a little easier for someone like that to make that statement. So I wanted to give some background onto those two people. So here is my context on my Gen X, my dad. So he has the attitude that this is just the way life is. Nobody has a perfect life, and we all have to work for what we want. That sets up for his quote from his interview. You have to push through the challenges you have in life, even if things are going the opposite way you want them to. You have to remember that you're always in control of one thing, even if the world around you is going to hell, and that is your attitude. And I emphasized attitude here because my dad emphasized it in his interview. So if there was a point that your interviewee was really passionate or enthusiastic about, you may want to emphasize it too. All right. So next, we are going into the context for the Gen Z, my brother. Harry agrees that your attitude can have a major role in determining your success, but that realistically, attitude alone cannot overcome being born into poverty. So that's a general overview of his belief before I move into his context. Harry shared that learning about his own privilege helped him understand how difficult it is for some people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps when they have more weight to carry. You can have a great attitude and work ethic and do your best every day, but still come out on the losing side. Moving into my connection. I find it interesting that both my brother and father had a similar upbringing but now have such different beliefs regarding the American dream. The 2008 recession could have had an impact on this split in perspective. It occurred right around the time that Harry was graduating from high school. He'd done what he was supposed to do by graduating from high school and moving on to college, and the expectation was that a job would be waiting. It wasn't. Harry learned quickly that he'd have to be scrappier than my father, who had a safety net when he dropped out of college in his junior year. Harry decided to go to grad school, and to this day, look, more emphasis, in 2020, is still in grad school. He just found out that he will be getting a research position at Vanderbilt University, the type of job he has ultimately worked 7 years in college to attain. To attain. Um, I could add some more here, but I'm not going um, to show that he's worked 7 years in college, but now that the coronavirus is on the scene and colleges are all online right now, that's possibly a threat to his position being funded. So he's worked so hard for 7 years, sacrificed his social life, his love life, other goals that he wanted in order to obtain a job that might not even be there after 7 years. So that's my paragraph on the differences. It follows my outline to a T. Remember that you have your definitions on the side if you forget what context, content, and connection are. Go ahead and pause now and practice writing your leveled up body paragraph on differences. Do it on the same document that you did for your 2 paragraphs yesterday, because this is ultimately an entire essay that you're going to be turning in. When you come back, we'll take a few minutes to put together the conclusion, and that will be that. Alrighty. So for your conclusion, you need 2 parts, as always. You're restating the key similarities and differences and how they support your thesis, which is in your introduction. And then you're ending in a memorable way. And for an essay like this, I thought that you could give advice for one generation or for both generations, or you could make a prediction. And that's what I decided to do. So, as far as my key points, it is clear that working hard means a great deal to both Harry and Tom, and their views on work reflect what could be a generational change in attitude. While Harry works to live, his father lives to work. Harry's motivation is to enjoy his life and not spend the majority working, while Tom wants to provide as many opportunities as he can to his children and does not often think of himself. So here's my prediction. I predict that future generations will still value putting effort into long-term goals, but that they won't go so far as Gen Xers and baby boomers to become workaholics. Younger generations will want to enjoy the benefits of their hard work. I feel like I need one more sentence to really hammer it home. So let me think about that for a second. See, the problem is that I got on a separate topic about living to work versus working to live, and that deviates a little bit from the American dream. Okay, so by the time the newest generation moves into adulthood, perhaps the American dream will have evolved to where okay, I've got this. There we go. Now I tied it back to the American dream. Younger generations will want to enjoy the benefits of their hard work, and some of them may even dedicate their lives to making the American dream more attainable for all, which relates right back to my thesis. So, okay, so I think we are good to go now. Younger generations will want to enjoy the benefits of their hard work, and some of them may even dedicate their lives to making the American dream more attainable for all, which relates to my thesis. So go ahead and try this on your own document and send it to me when you are done. And you will be getting some feedback very shortly.